All right. I kid you not. Young Thug has just been released from prison. Now, I know you probably heard about it, but I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give it to you, pause, and all things wrapped up. That's what I do. I go out there, get the information so you don't have to. You could just tune in. All right. So, Young Thug has been released from on federal charges. All right. RICOs, all type of crazy shit. Now, what happened here is he is currently able to do 15 years of probation. And if this probation is violated, he would have to do 20 years in custody. All right. Now he still is pleaded guilty, but they let him go with time served. And what that means is he was supposed to do 40 something years, right? But they wanted him to do 20 years, but they broke it down to 5. And since he already been in there for a while, they let him go with time served, 15 years of probation with some very, very heavy restrictions, which we're gonna get into. Now, this is very crazy because how did Young Thug pull this off? I don't know. But Brian Steele, who is Young Thug lawyer, is probably the Johnny Cochran of my generation, because this is going to be the most craziest situation in history. Mind you, the YSL trial was the longest case in Georgia history. All right. Georgia history. Just for this man to come home on 15 years of probation. Now, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to let you see some of the clips. I want to give you some of the context, and I'm going to let you understand everything that's happening. All right. This is the judge telling Young Thug about his charges and him admitting to pleading guilty.
Street gang activity. How do you plead?
I plead guilty.
As to count 58, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 59, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 60, violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. How do you plead?
Guilty.
As to count 61, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. How do you plead?
Guilty.
And as to count 1, conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. How do you plead?
No law.
As to count 56, participation in criminal street gang activity under the leadership charge. How do you plead?
No law.
I think you didn't ask about count 62.
Now, we know that Young Thug is guilty. Even the judge says you are, in fact, guilty. But she actually did him a huge favor with this situation, all right? So not only is this the longest running trial, but he also requested to speak to Gunna. Now, I know this is going to be crazy because a lot of people were speculating that Gunna ratted. But I'm going to show you where he even insisted on speaking to Gunna because she put him on heavy restrictions. I mean, I'm talking about barring travel in Metro Atlanta, no contact with affiliated gang members. And she said he must perform community service, including doing presentations to community groups and children against gang violence, right? So she put Young Thug on heavy restrictions. And he seemed pretty appreciative because he did give a nice speech basically saying he knows that he was wrong and he kind of wishes he didn't do it and he knows he should have done better. Let's get into it.
Thing that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, My managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time investing into this, and I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad, and it don't really have to have nothing to do with you, but it could end bad and it could, fall on you. And I know the choice is yours, it's up to you, and I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me, because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, you know. I'm sorry to the sheriff, you know, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, you know, and I just hope that you find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, you know, all people. I learned that late, like these past 2 or 3 years of my life. I kind of learned that late, and maybe it was because I was, you know, probably on drugs or anything, I don't know. But I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world. But I am a good guy, you know. I don't mind doing stuff like, you know, like free shows, and I always did that. You know, I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars. You know, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity. And I did like 2 or 3 shows that made like $700,000 a piece, and I gave it to the breast cancer organization. Like, you know, I do things. Like, I put millions of dollars back into my community for real. I really did. I did more than anybody ever did from my side, you know. But I understand, you know, rap lyrics. I understand how it could be twisted. I understand what it could do to the mind of people. I understand all that, and I promise you I'm 100% changing that. You know, it's just, I'm older, I'm grown now, you know, and it's just like, I'm smarter. It's more things to rap about. Like, I've experienced a lot of good things. I experienced more bad things, but I experienced a lot of good things too. And anyway, I can go forever.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate that you do realize how much of an impact you have on people. I mean, it's past your neighborhood. It's worldwide, especially young people. And
what I want y'all to understand is that this guy just beat a federal case, all right? This guy is literally coming home on 15 years of probation when they wanted to give him 40 years. They wanted to give this guy 20 years in jail and then 20 years on probation after that, plus what he already served now. So he was going to have to do 21 years and then 20 more years on probation. But what was happening during the course of this case, a lot of people did go to jail. There was somebody who just got 10 years, somebody else who just got life. A lot of people did get in trouble for some of the crimes, but they couldn't really find significant evidence on Young Thug in particular, which made this case super lengthy, but he still pleaded guilty, but to certain types of drugs and guns and criminal activity charges. But what they were trying to paint him out to be, they couldn't really narrow it down. Now, my mind is blown that they just let him go on probation. It blows my mind, the decision that they came to come to this. But when everybody was trying to say, oh, Gunna's a rat, this, that, and the third, he specifically asked to speak to Gunna as this thing goes on.
Mr. Williams have no contact with any of the co-defendants in this indictment, with the exception of Mr. Quantavious Greer, that is his biological brother, as well as Mr. Sergio Kitchens. He's a phenomenal artist. He goes performer known as Gunna, G-U-N-N-A. Mr. Williams and Mr. Kitchens are contractually obligated, and they frequently perform music together. Your Honor, Mr. Williams have no contact.
Now, so that's a special request to speak to the big slime, Mr. Drip or Drown Young Stunner. All right, so everybody was speculating. Now we could figure out what that was really about. I mean, this is a crazy day for culture. I mean, the music industry is essentially about to shut down. As soon, everybody's probably waiting for Young Thug to drop a music video. I'm not gonna front. Mariah the Scientist is probably somewhere twerking and jumping up and down right now, hearing that Young Thug has been freed from jail. Now, I don't know what to think about this, just off the simple fact that he really is on 15 years of probation after getting hit with RICO charges. Now, mind you, do y'all think Young Thug is going to come home and do the right thing? Because if he doesn't, he has to go to jail for 20 years. 20 years. Remember that. 25 years were supposed to be served and 20 on probation. A total of 45 years is what they wanted to give him, but they were willing to let Young Thug get out on probation as a part of a plea deal, as long as he testified against his co-defendants, okay? As long as Young Thug testified against his co-defendants, they were going to let him out on probation. So I think this is the same thing that they gave Gunna when they said he has to come back and testify against his co-defendants. Hold on. What I think happened here is they gave Young Thug the same stipulation that they gave Gunna, that if they need him to testify, he's willing to help with the case and answer questions. Now, I don't see Big Slime coming back and telling the truth under oath. I'm pretty sure he'll tell them what they got to tell him, but he just wanted to get out of jail. I mean, if I was Young Thug, I wouldn't want to be in this situation at all. But being home on restrictions is probably a lot better than spending 20 years in jail, even if you got to do 60% of the sentence. Now, it is kind of insane that he had to take that, and that's why they tried to speculate that Gunna was a rat for this same situation. So all we can really do is wait and see what's going to happen. But do y'all think Young Thug is going to come out and go right back to the street nonsense? Because I guess the only thing is that he just can't, break probation, and he has to testify. It doesn't say nothing about him going out there and making street music anymore. I don't think he's going to come out here being a pastor, but y'all let me know what y'all think Thug is about to do on his first day back. It's your boy Dre. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. I'm your go-to source for the breaking news in the culture. I go find the BS and report back to you once I get it, so you don't have to. I'm gone. It's your boy Dre. Peace.